Alright, so I guess now we move on to Rogue. Now, Rogue's got some
A good
interesting
mix.
cards. Yeah,
A good mix of really good ones, well, pretty decent ones, and pretty crappy ones.
so let's start with a few terrible cards. The new Rogue Legendary, Anubarak. I think this is trash. So, 9 mana, 8/4, right? So, even there has to be some seriously good text to justify 4 health on a 9 mana card.
Yep.
So, the text being Death Rattle, return this to your hand and summon a 4/4 Nerubian. This card is really, it's way too slow. It's like incredibly too slow, and it's just really poor. Like, fine, you spend an entire turn playing a 9 mana 8/4. If it's a close game, that this 9 mana 8/4 has very little impact on the board. If they kill it, there's 4 health. It's not difficult to remove. All they're left with is a 4/4, and then
Yep.
they can have a huge tempo swing in their favor. Like, this card is just,
Yeah,
the mana cost is way too high for what it does, and it can be silenced.
I agree. I think the problem with this card is it has that's kind of Death Rattle has the potential to be really, really strong, which means I think they've erred on the side of weakness rather than the side of overpoweredness. And the problem is you want something that costs 9 or 10 mana, and 9 mana is almost the same as 10 mana because there's not that much you can do with 1 mana. That kind of needs to win you the game. It kind of needs to has a really big on-board effect. And you play this card, it gets polymorphed, you're sad. You play this card, anything happens to it that deals 4 damage, you're really sad. Like, Skeleton Knight sucks. That costs 6 mana and gets you a 7/4 that might return it to your hand.
And that is
Um,
significantly better than this card.
I think the only way. So, in order to be good, this card has to get a lot of value. And the only way for it to do that is for you to play it at least twice. If you don't play it twice, this card is bad, right?
Yeah,
Like, for sure, this card
for sure.
sucks. You have to play it at least twice.
Even then, it's not.
Obviously, if you're top decking. If you're top decking this card's okay. Maybe if you're playing like a. If you're playing like a fatigue rogue or like a mill rogue, maybe this card's good just because it's one card that keeps coming back and keeps providing damage. That's the only place I can see this card being okay, and I don't know. I don't think it's good enough there. I don't think this card's good enough, but it's a cool effect. If it gets played, I think that's the kind of deck that we'll see it in, but I don't think we'll see it.
Yeah, I can't imagine this card being shown. Because as you said, something of that cost has to have an immediate effect on the board. Say, like I
Yeah.
guess our direct comparisons are something like Ysera, 9 mana for 12. Already, that is a tough card to remove. You need hard removal,
Yeah.
and it gives
And if
you a
you don't
card.
remove it, it's yeah.
Yeah, it gives you a card straight away. Ragnaros, 8 mana, 8/8, and it does a random 8 damage the second it's played. Right?
Yeah.
What else can we compare? Even
This is a
Death,
9 mana card that does nothing and dies to Flame Cannon.
e-
Like, I don't think you can play it.
even Deathwing, 10 mana, 12/12 is better than this card.
Deathwing's the ultimate card that does something when it comes
Yeah.
onto the board. It just happens to have a pretty big downside, but yeah,
The
I don't think you play this card.
I thought would be.
In Arena, this card's bad.
I'd say it's
Like,
bad.
below average.
I'd even say it's maybe.
By turn 9, you kind of have to keep up the tempo. You can't. I don't know if you can be this slow, but maybe in Arena it's okay just because you don't have that many big creatures. Actually, in Arena, maybe this card is okay because you don't have that many big creatures. And if you get to turn 9 and you can keep playing this, I think it's like okay to slightly below average, maybe.
What if I'm curious. What if the Death Rattle was instead? This is 9 mana 8/4. Death Rattle. Instead of returning to your hand, fill the rest of the board, of your board, with 4/4 Nerubians.
Yeah, that card would be insane.
The,
Like, I think that card would be insane, right?
it would require hard silence, but that'd be a much more interesting card, right? Do you know?
That would be a broken card. That would be a card, if you're not running silence, you'd lose the game because you have to leave an 8 attack creature up and you can't let it kill anything or you lose the game.
Just
Anyway,
just flame cannon.
I
Flame
like
strike.
the idea. Well, yeah, that's cheeky. Alright, should we move on to Poison Blade?
Poison Blade. Too slow. 4 mana, 1/3. Your hero power gives this weapon +1 attack instead of replacing it. I guess the closest thing that we can compare this to is Assassin's Blade, right? 5 mana, 3/4, and that is significantly better than this card, because there, to even match the Assassin's Blade, you'd have to hero power 3 times, right?
Yep. This card is absolute garbage. It's one of the worst cards in the set. You never play this card.
Yep.
Even in Arena, this card sucks.
There's
I think the only way, the thought process behind this card, I think, is the problem that Rogue has a hero power that sometimes you just cannot press. Like, if you've got an Assassin's Blade you've just played, you cannot press your hero power to try and trigger some Inspire cards, because like you lose so much value. So this is the card they put in to allow Rogue to keep tapping its hero power. But it just happens that it's utter garbage, and you never play this card.
There's no way you can make a deck around buffing a Poison Blade or anything. Yeah, as you said, it's garbage, and there's really not much else to say about this card.
Yeah.
Don't play it. Okay, this card I like. In fact, both of these upcoming cards, I like these cards a lot, especially Beneath the Grounds. So, Beneath the Grounds, the 3 mana, shuffle 3 ambushes into your opponent's deck. When drawn, you summon a 4/4 Nerubian. Wow.
And the ambush, by the way, is just it's like the mine.
Yeah.
It just says summon a 4/4 Nerubian for your opponent and draw a card.
Wow, you think that's mad value, right? Because I guess we think of Spider Tank as crazy value, because we don't always get the mech synergy off in Arena, so it's just a 3 mana 3/4 solid. This is 3 4/4s for 3 mana. I guess the downside, the big downside, being that you don't know when the Nerubians are gonna appear.
Yeah.
I guess
like it's super slow.
Yeah.
The deck you play this in is Mildred. Sorry,
Yeah.
I don't think you can play this in a normal Rogue deck just because it's so slow. You sometimes give up 3 mana and never see a Nerubian again. In Mill Rogue, I would put these in, or at least I would definitely try and put them in. I think they're good enough to make it. If a Mill Rogue deck's good enough,
I reckon you can expect to see 1 in most games, at least. Would you not think?
I don't know.
Because
like, if you get 1 Nerubian from this, I don't think that's enough. If I play a 3 mana card and then 4 turns down the line I get a 4/4, like that's not good enough. So you have to draw at least 2.
If you draw 2, I think you've definitely got value from this card.
Yeah, but think about how long it takes to draw 2. You have to go pretty deep into the game to be able to guarantee that. Like, they have to draw about 20 of their cards maybe. If you play this somewhere around on one of the later turns, I don't know, turn 8 or something. I don't know. I think they have to draw a ton of their cards to make it worth it, and I think you have to run a deck that makes them draw those cards if you're going to play this card.
I think it's a really cool idea.
Oh yeah, it's really, really cool.
But maybe the deck doesn't quite exist for it right now.
But I really hope it does exist.
And the method's just a bit too slow, but as you said, I really hope that, it exists.
Yeah.
Perhaps now this next card. Oh, and in Arena, Beneath the Grounds I think it's a good card, because it's really hard to get strong spells as Rogue in Arena. Because Rogue spells combo really well with each other, but a lot of them on their own aren't particularly great. Do you not think? Let's say you drafted...
This card is probably good in Arena. Because in Arena often the game goes long, and you almost get to fatigue, or you actually do sometimes get to fatigue. In which case, if you get to fatigue and you've got 3 4/4 Nerubians out of this card, there's insane value. The problem is the amount of tempo you lose, and the card advantage you lose immediately. It's pretty big. It's probably an okay to good card. I don't think it's ridiculous though.
Yeah, no, I think it's above average. There were worse cards.
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, there are definitely worse cards.
The Shady Dealer. So 3 mana 4/3. It's already got good stats, right?
Yeah, decent.
There's no downside. That's the pretty much average. That's pretty much the expected 3 mana stats. It'd be even better if it was 3/4. And then the Battle Cry is just wow. Great value. So if you have a pirate, I'm assuming that means on board. Would you think?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
Then it becomes a 3-mana 5/4, which I think is a strong card. Not overpowered, but strong.
Yep. Yep.
They're really...
It's important to note this card isn't a pirate itself. So there's cards that buff pirates, like South Sea Captain. This card wouldn't get buffed and stuff like that. And South Sea what's the ship's pirate, captain's pirate, whatever. So this card doesn't work with that. But it's still, I think you play this. If you're trying to run a rogue pirate deck, you play this card. But I think you have to be running a deck that has lots of pirates, because a 3-mana 4/3 is not good enough, and a 3-mana 5/4 is good, but not insane. Like, it's probably, yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah. If the attack and the health were flipped around, I think this would be this would be somewhere from good to very good.
Yeah. I don't think this card will see play just because I don't think there's enough. There's no pirate rogue deck, and I don't think there's enough good pirates. But I think this is a really good addition to the pirate tribe idea. I really like it when they push things like pirates or murlocs or beasts or mechs or dragons or whatever, because those decks are really interesting.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see maybe in an upcoming Tavern Brawl. You've got either pirates, pre-made deck of pirates versus murlocs, or pirates versus ninjas.
Absolutely, they should do that.
Or ogres, yeah.
I don't think there's enough ninjas, but yeah, they should definitely do that. That'd be great.
But I think that there are enough. Are there enough ogres? There are probably enough ogres. In Arena, this is okay. Like, it's not bad. It's not. It's just.
It's a 3-mana 4/3, which is like okay.
With a very, very slight upside, which is well, it's a good upside, but it's probably never going to be triggered in your entire run.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. So, and now we have Burgle. I love the card art. When I saw that in the reveal, that's the best part about this card. If it wasn't already a good card.
Yeah.
So
I think this card's.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. Rogue doesn't really have these ways of drawing cards. In the past, we've had Miracle Rogue that was drawing a ton of cards. That's no longer a thing. But so it doesn't have a card like Arcane Intellect or like the new Shaman card that just draws cards straight up. This card is worse than Arcane Intellect because it's 2 random class cards. But I think it's still pretty decent.
Yeah, especially since it's class cards and not just completely random cards, right? You can sort of, you know what to expect, and class cards are on average stronger than neutral cards.
Yep, that's true.
So, yeah.
In Arena, this card's good because it's basically Arcane Intellect.
Card draws
your
always
deck won't
good.
necessarily do better than their deck.
Card draws always good in Arena.
Yeah, for sure. Does this fit into Milberg? Maybe, because if you're less likely to fatigue with them. I don't know. No, maybe not. Maybe not.
I don't think it'll have I don't think it's gonna have a place in Constructed, but I think it's a really cool card. I really like that they've added cards like this because it's not a bad card either. It doesn't dilute the pool in Arena.
Yeah, the variance might be too high. Something like Arcane Intellect is dependable. Something like Thought Steal is random, but you know that they're going to be probably pretty good cards, just because they've made it into your opponent's deck. This card's worse than both of those, probably.
We discussed.
So maybe not.
Yeah, we discussed this for Paladin. We looked at the what the chances of you drawing a good card or a bad card. I think it was something like 40% of the time you're going to get a good to really strong class card. And the rest of the time, you're going to get sort of not that great cards.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I think it's, I'm not sure.
In Arena, it's a good pick because it's card draw. And
yeah, it's a good one.
Okay, so...
Cut Purse.
Cut Purse. Ooh, what?
I don't think it's good enough.
I like the card's cool. It's definitely if
It looks cool and the effect's cool, but and also the coin is actually important. It's not just taking away a mana from something. Like the coin is important to rogue because they can use that to combo all the things that they want to combo, which is like everything. But it's only when it attacks a hero. There's lots of times when you don't want to be doing that, when you're going to be trying to stave off aggro, in which case this card does nothing. And there's lots of times when they're just not going to let you hit their face. So I don't think it's good enough.
Yeah, I think it will live long enough to be able to actually trigger.
Yeah.
I think if it triggers once, it's probably value.
If it triggers once, I think it's fair. I don't think it's OP.
Yeah, no, definitely not OP, but I think it's made its money's worth. But yeah, you're right.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it needs to do it twice to be to outweigh the times it does nothing. I think a significant amount of time it needs to do twice. Like if it sometimes does once, sometimes does nothing, it's not good enough. I don't think it has to sometimes do nothing and sometimes do one and sometimes do two, and then maybe it's good enough. And I don't think it can do that consistently.
In Arena, this isn't great because again there are so many decent and good and really good 2-drops that you get to pick from.
Yeah, and also that you probably won't have as many combo cards, so coin will be less important.
Speaking of combo cards, the next card we have up is the Shado-Pan Rider. A 5 mana 3/7. This card is insane.
Yeah, I really like this card.
5 mana 6/7, and we thought we were all there lapping up the Boulder Fist in Arena when we see that it was instant pick almost.
Yeah, Boulder Fist is great.
Shado-Pan is...
The dream is turn 4, coin, Shado-Pan Rider. Turn 4, 6/7.
Brutal.
Pretty decent. That is pretty decent.
The real question is, does the deck exist in Constructed for this card?
I don't think so.
I guess we'll see. I don't. Yeah, I'm not too.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, it's really hard to say because the deck might not exist now, but the entire meta is going to completely shift. We're adding a ton of cards, but it would need to be like a value rogue type deck, not like a tempo rogue or something like that, because you need to be able to get. You need to use this card to get lots of value. Well, maybe not actually tempos.
Yeah, in Arena, for me, this is a must pick. As a rogue, if this comes up, there'd have to be something insane. And I don't... Are there any rogue cards that you'd pick over this?
Maybe. The slight thing you have to remember in Arena is this card is insane, but you need to combo it.
But I reckon you can combo it.
Yeah, but you can't consistently draft like 2 backstabs, shivs.
But it doesn't have to be comboed with like 0 mana. It can be comboed with a 2-drop, for example. You can play it on turn 7.
You can, but I think then it's still really good, and it's still something you put in your deck. But it's then you play it on turn 7 and you get a 6/7 and a 2-drop, and they might play like even if they play War Golem, like it eats your 6/7. I don't know. I think it's really good. I just think you have to be aware that sometimes it's difficult to combo this card.
I guess the only times I'd weigh up whether I don't pick this card is if Eviscerate comes along, for example, or maybe Deadly Poison comes along. But
yeah, this card is like top tier.
Otherwise, yeah, this card is great, top tier. I'm really glad they added it, and it's a common.
Yeah, that's good. That's really big, and it's a big card as well. So it allows Rogue to play later.
Okay, so next we have Undercity Valiant. So the 2 mana 3/2 with a really strong upside. I guess the actual the biggest, most obvious comparison we have is this with SI7 Agent, right?
Yeah.
Because for SI7 Agent, we're paying 1 more mana to deal 1 more damage and gain 1 more health. I think this has to fight for SI7 Agent's place. I don't think you'd run both.
Yeah.
And I think SI7 Agent is better.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think the world in which you run 4 cards that basically do this is quite limited just because they are situational cards in and of themselves. There has to be something where you can get value from doing that amount of damage, and you have to be able to combo it, and you have limited ways of comboing things. So, and also if you're running these cards and you have to combo them, then sometimes it's hard to find something good to play on turn 2 or turn 3. So I don't think you can run two copies of both cards. And SI7 Agent is substantially better.
Yeah, because this is like a lot of two health minions you face up against. Even in something like Arena, if you have to pick between, do you pick? No, you can't pick between the two, can you? SI7s are rare, isn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, yeah, but yeah, the 2 damage is significantly better than the 1.
Yeah, I think this card's a good card, but I don't think we'll see that much play because SI7 is a really, really good card, and it already exists.
And
in Arena, I think this card's just solid. 2 mana, 3/2, good enough. Combo, deal 1 damage, like a good add-on. This card's really good.
Yeah, in a world where Dunfen's a good pick, Undercity Valiant's a better pick.
You play this on turn 2 and you're not sad, and then you play it any turn after that and you're still not sad, so it's okay.
Yeah. I guess that's the one thing it has over SI7 Agent. You can play this without any benefit. The SI7 Agent, you really want to get the combo off.
Yeah, that's true. And more of the SI7's value is in its effect. Whereas this is a 2 or 3/2, that's where most of its value is, and then the 1 damage is just nice. That's true.
Okay. And finally, we have another pirate card. We have Buccaneer, the 1 mana 2/1. Okay, so I guess it's already got the base stats. It's a pirate, which is beneficial. Whenever you equip a weapon, give it +1 attack. I mean, for a 1-drop, as a rogue, that's pretty... I mean, the 1 health is a real bummer, but for a 1-drop as a rogue, that's pretty top tier. I mean, it's not saying it's a good pick. There are lots of things you'd want to pick over this. But if you had to pick between 1-drops, that's like probably one of the best 1-drops you can pick, surely.
Yeah, I think this card's actually pretty good. If you're I like the fact that if you're running a pirate deck, you put this in because you buff pirates, and also pirates like weapons, and this is more synergy with weapons. But maybe you can put this thing in something that's not a pirate deck. I think it needs to be seen. The obvious comparison is to Auto Barber. 2 mana 3/2, give your existing weapon +1 attack, and that card looks really good on paper because 2 mana 3/2 is good enough. And then giving an attack to your weapon is big for Rogue. Like a 2/2 is much better than a 1/1. The problem Rogues found was that there wasn't an effective... it didn't fit the mana curve very well. Because, you can't play it on turn 2. So you might maybe have to coin out your hero power, then play Auto Barber, which is rubbish. Or you have to play Auto Barber on 3, having weaponed up on 2, and you lose lots of value and lots of tempo. This card is different. You can play this on turn 1, get something on the board immediately, and then turn 2 you can play your hero power and have a 2/2. And I think maybe it's good enough constructed somewhere.
I think if you're trying to run a pirate deck, this is an almost auto include.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess it's to be seen as to whether it will be fit to constructed, but it's definitely contendable.
I like it. Because you play it on turn 1, you can weapon up on turn 2. Even if you don't do that, you can play it on turn 3 with a weapon. I think it's good. In Arena, I think it's good too. Just because getting value from your weapon is good, because it gets you card advantage and tempo.
Yeah.
So.
And I guess the important thing to remember as well with Rogue is because you have 2 charges, that +1 attack is going to go a lot further than, say, if the Buccaneer was, say, on a mage, and for 1 turn it gave it, while it was like Fallen Hero, it gives it one more damage. But generally, that's only going to survive 1 turn.
Yeah,
if that.
That's a good point. The biggest downside of this card is that it has
1 hit point.
1 health.
Yeah.
That's a big downside. Because if it doesn't live to the next turn, then you're sad. But it's still probably not that bad if you play this on turn 1 and they hero power on turn 2 or coin out a hero power. That's not awful. They've lost value too. I think this card's good.
Okay. And I guess that concludes the pirate cards. So, moving
the rogue cards.
Well, it does also include the class pirate cards, but yeah, it includes the rogue cards.
This is true.